Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Last season, the Los Angeles Lakers tried to sign Walker Kessler, but they were unsuccessful. This does not mean that the Lakers have given up on the player, and they still intend to put together a package of players to send to convince the Utah Jazz to release the players Kessler and Collin Sexton. The Lakers can send some picks along with Rui Hachimura, Dalton Neche, and Jared Vanderbilt. With these two players, the Lakers will become the strongest team in the West and will be favorites to win the championship and even more than one championship with this very strong roster, because Luka Doncic, Austin Reaves, and Walker Kessler are new and can make a lot of noise and success in the NBA. Rumors: Lakers want to sign a pair of players to have the best team in the NBA. The Los Angeles Lakers have plenty of ammunition to make deep postseason runs in the Western Conference. Although the franchise has lost 4 of its last 6 games, its ceiling is higher than it was before acquiring Luka Doncic on February 2. However, in the offseason, Los Angeles could shake things up by swapping Austin Reaves for a captivating Utah Jazz duo. The Jazz are 44 games below .500 in early April, but Walker Kessler and Collin Sexton's impressive play on the hardwood should earn them looks in free agency. Kessler has been brilliant on both ends during his first season as a full-time starter with the Jazz. While the Auburn product isn't a pick-and-pop or perimeter shooting threat in the big leagues, he can get the job done offensively by serving as a lob threat in ball screen situations, maximizing his second-chance scoring opportunities, and making plays in the low post. Defensively, Kessler has been on the wrong end of numerous posters, but that hasn't deterred the 7-foot big man from contesting shots at the rim. Kessler averages 11.1 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 2.4 blocks per game, in addition to shooting 66.7% from the field in 57 contests. Sexton, the Jazz's third leading scorer, is a high-energy guard who enjoys getting downhill as often as possible with the ball in his hands. More impressively, the 38.7% career three-point shooter continues to light it up in catch-and-shoot and off-the-dribble scenarios, shooting 40.5% from downtown in year 7. Despite taking unnecessary defensive risks, the Alabama product boasts a reputation for frequently crowding his opponent's space and forcing them to play at an uncomfortable pace. Sexton averages 18.2 points per game on 47.6% shooting from the field and 40.5% shooting from three-point range in 59 contests. Considering the Lakers are in desperate need of a game-changing center to bolster their frontcourt and could use a more experienced guard who isn't a slouch defensively, including some players in a big summer trade for 2 impactful contributors from the Jazz in Kessler and Sexton would be the best offseason trade idea for Los Angeles. At the very least, it's a concept for the Lake Show to consider as free agency approaches. Another good player can sign for minimum salary and help the Lakers in the rotation. While ample high-profile free agents will intrigue the Los Angeles Lakers this summer, an under-the-radar asset could soon pique the organization's interest. An animated 6'2" guard famous for getting into it with Russell Westbrook on numerous occasions may land with the Lake Show in the offseason. Patrick Beverley, who spent half of the 2022-23 season with the Lakers before being traded to the Chicago Bulls, last played for Hapoel Tel Aviv of the Israeli Basketball Premier League and the Euro Cup. Last season, Beverley suited up for the Philadelphia 76ers and Milwaukee Bucks, helping Milwaukee reach the postseason as the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. Unfortunately, the Arkansas product was unable to sign with an NBA franchise during the 2024 free agency period, prompting him to take his talents overseas. Beverley's back-and-forth interactions and controversial on-court antics involving Westbrook have been the highlight of his career. However, the 36-year-old veteran has an intriguing defensive skill set that could be useful to an organization. From harassing opponents 94 feet from the basket to forcing simplistic ball handlers to improvise after getting cut off, Beverley doesn't make it easy for guards to create clean looks offensively. Suppose the Lakers elect to reunite with Beverley in the offseason. In that case, they should expect the former Houston Rockets contributor to bring the defensive intensity nightly while occasionally drilling uncontested perimeter jumpers off the bench. Los Angeles could pursue Beverly if they strike out on their preferred free agent targets. Lakers have to build playoff mentality over final 7 games. The Los Angeles Lakers have 7 games remaining in the regular season. And in that time, they will face multiple important Western Conference opponents as they jockey for seeding in a crowded group from number 2 to number 8. Head coach J.J. Redick and his staff will have to figure out the best balance between getting as high a seed as possible and preserving his players for a potentially deep run. The stretch begins on Thursday night when the number 4 Lakers face the number 5 Golden State Warriors. They later have 2 straight games against the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road. They already have the number 1 seed clinched, and 1 more game against the Houston Rockets. Winning these games would be massive for seeding and confidence purposes. For Redick, the goal for these games is to become mentally ready for the playoffs. The Lakers are going in disadvantage due to how new the top end of their roster is, and need every possible game to prepare. It's very simple. I think we all recognize the magnitude of each game and the urgency with which we have to play each game, Redick said of the focus for his team. I think once you get to the playoffs, anybody who has been there, we have a bunch of guys who have won championships and a bunch of guys who have made deep playoff runs, the urgency you have to play with on each possession, that's what's exhausting about the playoffs. It's a mental, physical, and emotional toll. You have to be locked in on every possession. Not to say that good teams aren't locked in 90% of the possessions in the regular season, but we've got to do that over these next 8 games. We've got to build our playoff mentality, and it's got to be tonight. The Lakers have certainly not been consistent when it comes to defensive effort over the last few weeks, and that's something they desperately have to get back before going into the playoffs. With the way the conference is currently, every series is likely to be a battle. Playoff mentality is both an individual and a team thing. The Lakers have the individual experience to have that mentality, but they need to develop it as a team as well. LeBron James, Lakers need urgency in final 7 games. LeBron James echoed a very similar sentiment to J.J. Redick when asked about the goals for the final 7 games. In LeBron's mind, the Lakers cannot take their foot off the gas pedal and have to continue playing with urgency each end. Lakers look like title contenders in the West, but struggle to survive against the East. Lakers thrive versus West foes but hold losing record against East, trouble brewing for finals hopes? The Los Angeles Lakers are proving they can be a true title contender in the Western Conference, but when it comes to handling Eastern Conference opponents, it's been a very different story. With their recent 104-98 win over the Houston Rockets, the Lakers improved to an impressive 32-13 against Western teams this season. That mark is the second best in the West, and it has allowed them to climb to 4th in the standings with a 46-29 record, putting them in a solid position to secure home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs. However, a deeper look reveals a troubling trend. The Lakers are just 14-16 against the Eastern Conference. That discrepancy raises serious questions about their ability to survive a potential finals run against the East's elite. What makes the contrast more glaring is not just who they've lost to, but how often they've stumbled against teams they should beat. Losing twice to the Cavaliers, once to the Celtics, and twice to the Bucks can be justified. Those are arguably the top teams in the East, and the Lakers were either figuring things out earlier in the season when some of those games took place or had their stars injured. But losses to the likes of the Bulls, twice, Pistons, twice, and a split against the Nets, Hornets, and Sixers raise eyebrows. These are not juggernauts. Yet the Lakers couldn't assert their dominance. This isn't to say the Lakers haven't taken care of business against good East teams as well. They swept the Knicks, Pacers, and split their matchups with Miami and Atlanta. They also beat the Washington Wizards twice, though that was expected. Still, when you weigh their East struggles against their dominance in the West, it paints a picture of a team that might not be fully ready for the cross-conference firepower that comes with an NBA Finals matchup. Fortunately for the Lakers, their remaining 7 regular season games are all against the West. They have a 2-game cushion over the 5th-seeded Grizzlies and can potentially rise higher with a strong finish. But the road is far from easy. They'll face the Thunder twice, the Warriors, the Rockets again, and even the Blazers and Mavericks, both of whom are still dangerous. Every win matters now, both for playoff seeding and to maintain momentum. The Lakers might be thriving in the West, but until they prove they can handle the East, the championship road still comes with a major question mark. Bill Simmons projects Lakers won't last long in playoffs. The Los Angeles Lakers sit with a 46-29 record, occupying the Western Conference's number 4 seed. With 7 games remaining on their 2024-25 regular season slate, the Lakers seem to have a real chance to notch their first 50-win season since LA's 2019-20 championship run. Led by All-Stars Luka Doncic and LeBron James, LA has a 2-game lead over the number 5 seed, the 44-31 Golden State Warriors, who have been one of the hottest teams as of late. The 44-32 Memphis Grizzlies, 44-32 Minnesota Timberwolves, and 43-32 LA Clippers all seem capable of lapping Golden State by the time the playoffs tip off in 2 weeks. But how far can the Lakers go in the playoffs this year? Can anyone in the West defeat the loaded Oklahoma City Thunder, who at 63-12 currently have a chance to notch just the 3rd 70-win season in league history? During a new episode of his must-listen, The Bill Simmons Podcast, The Ringer's Bill Simmons did acknowledge in conversation with returning legend Zach Lowe that, thanks to their All-NBA superstar tandem boasting 2 of the best passers ever in guard Doncic and power forward James, the Lakers did have the top-line firepower to make a finals run. Still, he ultimately is concerned that the club's depth beyond its first 5 may not be enough to help it last long beyond the first round of the West playoffs. I think round 1 is going to be a little easier for them with all the breaks, Simmons told Lowe. Round 2 is the separate the men from the boys round, and that's where the teams with the bench, like Cleveland, OKC, and Boston, it's such an advantage, just playing every other day. Beyond Doncic and James, the Lakers are fielding a roster that also includes guard Austin Reeves, considered by Simmons to be the league's best third banana scorer, plus versatile combo forward Rui Hachimura. But from there, the depth drops off significantly. Starting center Jackson Hayes, reserve forwards Dorian Finney-Smith and Jared Vanderbilt, guard Gabe Vincent, and rookie wing Dalton Knecht all have had big moments in the regular season, but when the lights are brightest, can they step up to abet LA's postseason run? Lowe noted that even the first round of the playoffs might not be a picnic for anybody. If the 7th and 8th seeds come out of this group of Clippers, Minnesota, Warriors, Grizzlies, that are all jostling for those places, and one of the Dallas, Sacramento, Phoenix brigade of losers does not somehow sneak into one of those spots, every round 1 series is going to be a battle featuring a team that you could talk yourself into winning, outside of maybe Memphis the way Memphis is sliding right now, Lowe responded. 3 things Lakers need to do to get favorable Grizzlies matchup in first round. Ever since LeBron James came back from injury, the Los Angeles Lakers have lost 3 games and won 3. Those results will not work in their favor as they look to cling on to 4th spot in the West. However, they still have the time to ensure their first-round playoff matchup is as favorable as possible. The Lakers could have won their game against the Chicago Bulls. If not for 2 uncharacteristically costly mistakes from James, they could have tried to move up to 3rd. However, if they were to finish 3rd and the Golden State Warriors finish 6th, it is not as favorable a matchup as they would like. The Lakers have defeated the Warriors on quite a few occasions. However, the Warriors are an unknown quantity for them ever since Jimmy Butler brought a different dimension to that squad. Along with his reputation in the playoffs, the Lakers are better off not entering a guessing contest. They will square off on April 3rd, but Steve Kerr could mask their actual game plans as he knows how LeBron James thinks. Instead of second-guessing, it is better if the Lakers face off against the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round. But for that to happen, they have to ensure the standings remain as it is. Play chess with the rest of the schedule. The Los Angeles Lakers have 7 games left on their schedule. Amongst those games, 3 are easily winnable. The New Orleans Pelicans, Dallas Mavericks, and Portland Trail Blazers are easier to deal with considering the slew of injuries they have. Then they have a rematch against the Houston Rockets. It is at their home, and if the Rockets do cement second place by then, they should ease off too. That leaves the 3 games, 1 against the Warriors and 2 on the road against the Oklahoma City Thunder.